From nothing to something, we're here.
That's funny.
Yo, what's up, guys? Like I said earlier, I'm here with Sloan and Josh, Sloan Clymer, and how is it, Josh? How do you say your last name again?
Sapinoso.
Josh Sapinoso. From nothing to something, baby. What's up, guys? How you guys feeling today?
Pretty good, man. We got some gi training in earlier on with Mike Kuzi over at Stronghold and OB. And got home, rehydrated a little bit, had some fish and eggs for breakfast, and now here we are.
Oh, that's what's up, man.
Yeah.
Well, I'm happy to have you on, man. I'm excited to have you guys. You guys possibly have some stuff going on. I know, Sloan, you actually might not be doing the EBI trials. You're not sure right now.
Yeah, I'm a little unsure just because I got some personal stuff back home I got to go take care of. I'm flying home next week, January 18th, so not this Wednesday, but the following Wednesday. And that I know that's going to mess with my weight cut a little because my parents are going to want to spoil me. They haven't seen me in a while. They miss me. You're going to want to take me out to eat for some steak.
Yeah. No, I definitely know the feeling.
Yeah, so it's going to be tough, but I don't know. We'll see when I get back how I'm feeling, and I don't know. I'll go from there, but I'm definitely going to try to make it into the trials. 170. I'm about 185 right now, and if it was night before weigh-ins, I'd have no issue with it. But it's just I'm stepping on the scale about an hour before, and it's like that's fucking brutal on your body. Trying to rehydrate. I'd be cutting. I could get down to maybe under 180. Before then, depending on how things go back home, obviously, but, it's like just cutting 10 pounds of water weight out of you, stepping on a scale and then going and rolling. I did it in high school when I was wrestling, but it's like, I'm a grown ass man now. I'm not a kid. You could do that shit when you're a kid. You know, you can't do that when you're 24 years old. It gets a little harder, year by year.
For sure. It's definitely a little bit different. I know that pain. And those of you that are listening at home, we're talking about specifically EBI trials. EBI trials is coming up for the it's a welterweight division, right? For 170s?
Yep, 170.
For the welterweight division. And Eddie Bravo every year holds, or not every year, every time he has a tournament, he holds EBI trials for all the 10 Planet guys. Basically, and we talked about this before when we had Ricky Lule on, he does the trials because he doesn't want to make EBI an event where it's mostly 10 Planet guys. So he holds the trials for the best 10 Planet guys to get the slot to go and compete. He wants one person from 10 Planet to compete at every EBI, and he doesn't want any more than that. Unless you're the champion, right? Unless you're the returning champ, then there's another slot open. So what's up, Josh? Talk to us over there. You're definitely doing this EBI trials. How you feeling?
Yeah, good. I mean, the weight class is really not my weight class. It's at 170. I mean, I'm just kind of going there to represent,
Yeah.
About 163.
Yeah,
So.
And you've competed a lot before, right? You did MMA and stuff like that?
Yeah, I fought professional in the Philippines at PXC. Competed quite a bit in the Philippines. It's where I learned jiu-jitsu from.
Oh, no shit.
Yep.
All right, so let's take us back to the beginning, guys. Tell us about your story, where you're from, how old are you? Tell us a little bit of something about you guys.
I'm from Indiana, and so like back when I was just a little kid, my dad he was into combat sports my whole life. Like even before I was born, he boxed a little bit in the Marines, and
just talking to the mic so they could hear the audio.
Gotcha. Sorry.
It's all good. Can you hear yourself on the headphones?
Yeah, I can hear myself fine.
All right, cool.
I hear myself better now.
All right.
All right. But yeah, so my dad, he got me into the sport when I was a kid, I dabbled in it a little bit. He wrestled all throughout high school, and he boxed, and then he went on his bodybuilding years. in the 80s. And then early 90s, once the UFC came out, my dad, being a combat sport fanatic, he'd boxed, done all that stuff. He decided to try it out. He got into it, competed a little bit. This is way back when the unsanctioned shit was going on. Guys were fighting in jean shorts back then.
Right. Yeah.
But so he and his buddies, they got together and they would just train wherever they could. They would train at this little gym. It was the Pal Club. There was a lot of boxing, but there's a ring, and one of the guys had access to it, so they'd go up there and they'd roll around, kickbox. I'd go up there on the weekends with them when I was just 6, 7 years old, and I'd watch him, and I'd get on the mats a little bit and play around. He taught me how to do a rear naked choke, and I always liked it. I always enjoyed fighting. I was always like an ornery little shithead, and I liked, I was scrappy, but I didn't start like taking it a little more seriously and trying to like learn until I was maybe, I don't know, I was in high school, like 16. I was like, damn, I wouldn't mind fighting. I wouldn't mind, competing and doing something with this. So my dad had a barn built in my backyard when I was 8. I think I was 8 years old. We moved into that house when I was 6, and he just put some mats back there. He put all the weight sets and the heavy bag and all that good stuff. And so I would go out there with him and his buddies on the weekends when I was a teenager, and they would just show me some shit. And then when I was like 16, I competed in my first grappling tournament. Started just hit and miss, doing it here and there. And then once I was like 18, 19, that's when I kind of went into my fuck up stage, where I was just like drinking all the time and being a lazy asshole. I wasn't training, and it was like during that time was when I had my first 2 cage fights. Actually, I just got talked into them from promoters that we had known, just being, in the scene. And so yeah, I fought twice, just amateur, and I won both my fights, and I loved it, but I just couldn't stay on track. I had, Indiana, there's not shit to do back there. All you do is, you can't go to the beach or go hike on the mountains around here like, in San Diego, or go on a nice bike ride. If you and your buddies are going to go do something on the weekend, it's drinking. That's all you're doing. You're drinking and you're going out and starting shit usually. And that's what me and my friends were doing all the way up until like I had a realization. I was like, damn, I got to get out of here, because I knew I wanted to do something a little more with the sport, and I couldn't stay on track. So I basically just started planning, and eventually packed my shit, took a leap of faith. I had a buddy living out here in San Diego. I knew this is where I'd want to be. Yeah. And, I asked him, I was like, hey, what are your suggestions? He was like, just come stay with me. He's like, I'll get you a job, and you can stay here until you get on your feet. So packed my shit and drove out here, and now here I am.
Nice.
So,
it's crazy. I hear so many stories of people that, I've had a bunch of people on the podcast that just did that, They're like, fuck it, I'm just going to take this leap of faith. And it's almost like that's what it takes, It takes you to just be like, you know what? I'm tired of this shit. Like, I'm just going to make this move, just spur of the moment. So you were originally from Indiana. Your dad kind of brought you up in grappling and created this barn fight scenario,
Cave, I'm actually wearing the shirt, Caveman Combat. So Combat. So when I was 8 years old, is when he had the barn built, and I always loved drawing. I've always been pretty artistic, even from the time I was just a little kid. And my dad kind of wanted to be unique. He was like, I want to get some shirts made, for Caveman Combat. That's what we called the barn. And he was like, he wanted his son to draw the logo, so he had me draw this little banged up caveman. Yeah. And he made a bunch of shirts for him and his buddies. I'm still rocking it to this day.
That's pretty dope.
So yeah, pretty cool. On the back it says the original no holds barred fighter.
That's dope.
Yeah,
that's dope right there. That's like the definition. That's the shirt from nothing to something right there.
Yeah,
that's exactly
sure.
what that is. That's pretty dope.
Hell yeah,
that's pretty sick. So then you came out here and you started training out here then.
Yeah. I came out here. I got a job with a shitty moving company, which I was miserable there. And then I found my apartment like 10 days out. I got super lucky, and then I've always been fascinated with 10th Planet. Eddie Bravo, I was always a big fan of his. And like even back in Indiana, I would look up, like I followed Richie and Gio years ago when they were both like purple or brown belts. You know what I mean? Because I knew that they were like Eddie Bravo standouts. And I always loved him. So I would get on their pages and kind of look at them, and I was like, man, I'd like to train with these guys. I knew they were out in San Diego. So then once I came out here, I just hopped in the gym a few times and paid the drop-in fee, and they talked to me, and they were like, hey, we'd like you to train here. Richie, he really liked me. We hit it off from the start, became really good friends, and they hooked me up with a deal at the gym, and I started training there. And I didn't even want to go anywhere else. I was like, I don't really care for gi that much. I think it's necessary to train in the gi occasionally. So I'll like what we do on Sundays. We'll go over to Stronghold and OB and roll around, just for some traditional technique and shit. But for the most part, I'm a no-gi guy. I trained in a barn, so obviously, that's my style. And that's, 10th Planet. That's what it's based around. So that's what I favored, I guess.
Well, that's what's up, man. That's pretty dope. But now, what about you, Josh? You kind of came in with some experience already and shit like that. Tell us a little bit about your story, where you're from, and how you got to where you are now.
I grew up in Newbury Park. It's not super well known. I mean, I moved around and shit a lot after I was 14. Moved to the Philippines, then to Virginia, then back to the Philippines. And I went to school in South Dakota for a year. That was pretty weird. And then, I came here. But, I started doing martial arts when I was 3. My mom brought me to school one day. She was substituting. And the first fight I got into, some kid stole my shoe and was playing football, and I punched him in the dick. And then, my mom would take my siblings to karate and shit, and I'd be off on the side doing my own thing, I was always just interested in fighting as a kid. My favorite move was Mortal Kombat. We'd have this giant chess set, it was wood, I don't know, maybe about the size of this table, but square. I'd knock off all the pieces and be this is my dojo, and doing my fucking karate moves and shit on that. But I wrestled. I think I started when I was 12, and then after high school, you can't really wrestle after that. So I started doing jiu-jitsu. Thought it was pretty cool. I learned a lot of shit from YouTube, actually. Me and my friends used to do backyard boxing a lot. Yeah. And then we'd also do backyard grappling, kind of like Sloan, but not in a barn, And then I look up shit on YouTube, fucking start Kimoraing my friends and triangle choking them. I thought I was bad, and then I went to started doing jiu-jitsu for real.
That's what's up, man. Yeah. That's what's up. So I didn't catch it. Where you say you were from originally? Newbury
Park. It's a bit northwest of LA.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So what brought you down here?
Down to San Diego. Yeah. It's kind of complicated. I moved around a lot, like I said earlier. I moved to the Philippines when I was 14.
Yeah.
And then 17, moved to Virginia. 19, back to the Philippines.
Fuck. Was your family in the military or anything like that? Is that what it was?
My dad worked for the embassy.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Got it.
Yeah. And, after South Dakota, I kind of just dropped out of school. It's pretty miserable over there.
Yeah. Fuck it. I'm done.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just kind of wandering right now, to be honest.
You're just trying to figure it out?
Yep.
What is it that you want to do exactly? Is it martial arts that you want to do? Because, I rode with you guys. I mean, you guys are obviously raw as fuck. I remember when you first came in, or maybe you were already there for a couple weeks when I had actually met you. And then when we first rolled, you were just strong as fuck, Yeah. And then I'm not too sure where you came in. I remember you seemed pretty established when I started coming around San Diego a lot more already at the gym, but same thing, you just seemed like you were a scrapper, you scramble, it's hard to keep you down, you know what I mean? You scramble a lot. So is this what you want to do, or you're just still trying to figure it out, or what?
This is what I have the most passion for. Yeah. I don't know if it's the most legit path I can take, but this is where this is where my heart is.
Yeah. Yeah. And how old are you, Josh?
23.
You're 23. How old are you, Sloan?
I just turned 24.
You just turned 24.
Yep.
All right. So you guys, man, you guys are still trying to figure it out. You guys, any college at all done? Anything like that?
I actually kind of was on the same path as Josh. I went to college, a little shitty community college back in my hometown, right after high school, just because, just to please my parents. They wanted me to do something else with myself, and I had the influence, like my mom and dad, which I love my mom and dad. I have, the utmost respect for them, but you need to be a police officer, do something, you're a dominant male. You should do something along those lines. And I was like, I went to college, for criminal justice, and I did my first semester, did really well, and like, I started my second semester though, and I was like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to be here. This isn't where I'm meant to be. I'm not supposed to be in college. I'm not like I'm not even supposed to be a cop. Which ironically, right after I quit college, less than a year later, I think, I got a job as a correctional officer.
Oh shit!
Yeah, I did. So I was doing that for about 2.5 years.
And that's in Indiana.
Yeah, right before I moved out. Yeah, I quit right before I moved out here. So that was it was a solid career path if I wanted to get on full time and get my benefits and stuff. But
did you like it? I mean, I've heard a lot of people say it's like being in jail, but you just get to leave every day.
Well, okay, so when I was a correctional officer, it definitely, I had some fun times in there, Yeah. I made a lot of great friends that I'm still, solid pals with to this day. But it drags on you, When you first get the job, it's like, well, first off, all these inmates are fucking testing you, and the officers are testing you. I had other officers in there, kind of trying to see what I was about, see if I okay, is this guy really about his business or is he just a little pussy? I had to prove myself to everybody. Once everyone realized what kind of person I was, they all, the inmates respected me, the officers respected me. It was all good, like I said, I became really good friends with the officers, and those inmates, once they get to know you, it's all good. You'd still have a shithead that would come in and they would try to start some shit, or they'd try to test you, and you'd have to fucking drag them off the floor, and it just wears on you though. It's like after 2.5 years of doing it, I go in there and it's like these dim lights. It's depressing. You're around a bunch of depressed inmates. They don't want to be in there. You don't want to be in there. And it's like you got these guys coming up to you asking you questions about their court dates and stuff, and it's just like, oh gosh, I'm just ready to get out of here. And it's like I said, I could have made a career out of it if I wanted to, but I knew deep down, I was like, this isn't what I want to do with myself. Yeah. I have a dream to chase,
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And what about you, Josh? What did you, educational wise, job wise, what were some things that you tried out that you figured, just weren't for you,
My first job was in Taco Bell, drive-through cashier. I liked it. You get free tacos, and people bitch about you putting up cheese on my taco. Yeah, I did a year and a half at community college in Northern Virginia, then a year in South Dakota State. I changed my major twice: computer science, advertising. I was thinking about doing ROTC and going to the Army.
Yeah,
but my heart wasn't into it, and I've always been trying to find out what I want to do in my life, but I think it's just kind of staring me right in the face.
Yeah.
I'm just a little hesitant to go out and grab it,
Right.
Just because my parents want me to go to school. Got a lot of pressure from there.
Yeah.
I kind of want to go to school too, just expand my mind and whatnot.
Right, right. Yeah, it's weird because society gives us this false impression that school is your only option. There's this route that you feel obligated to take ever since you're a young kid, and it's crazy because there's so many people who are successful when they stray from that path, and it's a weird thing, I think that education's important, but there are thousands of different types of education that you can get, doing martial arts. You're being educated every day. You know what I mean? As long as you're learning something, I think that's important. But so many people focus on school, and it sucks, man. I know people that have, that have $million paying jobs and no degree.
Yeah.
And then I know people that have master's degrees. They're in fucking $80,000 in debt, and they can't even get they're a bartender. You know what I mean? And they can't get a job doing anything. So it really comes down to I feel very strongly about it, and I talked about it before. That's why I started the podcast. Is what the fuck are you passionate about, and what is it that you want to do? You have to chase that, because if you're just not there, eventually it's going to show, and you're going to feel like it's just fucking time wasted.
Well, I always said, I remember I've talked to friends about this. I've talked to family about this. It's like, what is one thing that you like doing? Like, one thing that you enjoy more than anything? You can find a way to make money from it. It doesn't matter what it is. I loved skateboarding growing up. I was never very good at it. I got okay, but I wasn't amazing. But the fact is, if you find something that you're passionate about, you can just take a different route with it. Maybe you can't be a professional skateboarder. Okay, then save up, get a loan, open a skate park. Start making your own skateboards. Do something along the path of it.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like, no matter what it is that you're passionate about, if it's playing video games, if you like sitting on your ass and smoking pot and playing video games, you can make a living out of video games. You just have to educate yourself on that passion.
Or secretly, you are a fucking jiu-jitsu master and you just don't know it. You guys ever been to the fighter house?
Yeah.
Those guys, they burn it down all day and they play video games.
Yeah,
but they will break your leg in a second.
Fuck you up. Exactly. Dude, it's like, there's always another out, you know what I mean? There's not a dead end. People just settle for these half-assed jobs. They're like, okay, well, this is gonna get me a house one day. This is gonna get me by with raising my family. But it's like, dude, just keep going after your passion, and it's gonna pay off eventually. Right. It's like you just said. Every time I'm on the mats, I think of it as, this is my college. You know what I mean? This is my, I'm learning shit that one day I'm gonna pass on. I'm gonna make money from it eventually. It may take some time, but I'm educating myself day by day. And if you see it that way, you can't fail. There's no room for failure.
And sometimes what you get out of that is like worth more than money. Like the passion that you have, the love for the sport. That's you can't pay for that shit.
Yeah, yeah. It's crazy because I recently, a couple days ago, I had to take a break from training, because I'm doing this transition from the Marine Corps, and I've talked about it before on the podcast, but it's like, it's tough, man, because like these past couple days, I go to sleep and I dream about training. I dream that I'm in the gym. I dream that I'm getting ready for a fight. I dream that I'm in a fight. I know where my passion lies, and it sucks that I have to kind of take a step back because I have to figure out what I'm gonna do in the meantime once I get out. So I'm still gonna train. Like I just told you guys, I'm still on my meal plan and stuff like that. I'm still running and doing what I can. I'm still gonna try to train on the weekends when I'm not having to grade fucking papers and shit like that. But I'm definitely a firm believer in it. And the thing is that it's hard to really believe in, It is. It's hard to really see yourself as this is what I want to do, so this is what I'm going to do, and I'm going to be successful at it. And there's so many people that are going to drag you down. There's so many people that are going to make you feel like you can't do it, you can't make it. And I've never understood why people fucking do that. You know what I mean?
Dude, I mean, there's a bunch of naysayers out there. When I was planning the move out here, in the beginning I was a little hesitant on telling people about it, obviously, because I was like, people are gonna fucking shoot this down. And then once I did started being a little more open about it, I would write about it on Facebook or something. I can't wait to move to California. I'm fucking sick of Indiana and stuff. I had so many naysayers, so many. I can't fucking begin to count. I couldn't count on both hands and toes how many fucking people personally told me, friends and family, look, Sloan, it's probably not going to work, dude. California's expensive. You don't have a college degree, you don't have any plans, and I'm like, well, I got balls, motherfucker, and that's enough for me. I mean, I saved enough skrill in the bank, and I'm gonna fucking make it work. There's no other option, really. It's I'm just gonna fucking do it. And of course I believed in myself, and now here I am doing exactly what I've been telling everybody I was gonna do. But there were so many naysayers that didn't believe in it, and even again, I love my dad, but he was he didn't want me to move just because we're close, me and my dad, but he was just like, man, like, why don't you get on full time at your job and just work, and you can train jiu-jitsu like off to the side. And I was like, Dad, like, this is something I got to do for myself. You know what I mean? He understood. I mean, like, he got it. He was like, I get it. You got to go out and experience this. If it doesn't work, at least you're young enough to bounce back from it.
Right.
But I did it, and here I am. So it's all good. Now it's only up from here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. I think that, just having a positive mindset about it plays such a big role, regardless of the naysayers. What about you, Josh? Like, what are some obstacles that you feel like were your biggest ones, or still today are the biggest ones that you have to face?
Doubt.
Doubt, like self-doubt, or you like doubt from people that are close to you? Cause,
from my parents, mostly.
Yeah. Well, how do they feel about you doing this?
My dad kind of shat on my dreams.
Yeah? Did he?
Yeah, I fought professional MMA, and, like, I got fucked up in my first fight, and he's like, well, I can't make a career out of this unless you're doing, like, in the fucking top 1%.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, thanks, dude. Like, fuck, man. Like, I could do something else with it, but, like...
Yeah.
Yeah.
My dad, he, I remember, like, the first time I brought up fighting to him, like what, what if I did that? What would you think of me? I was probably 17 probably 17 at the time, and he was like, I don't know, man, there's a lot of hardships in fighting. He's like, and chances are nothing's going to really come of it. He said, he's like, it's like a slim to none chance that you're really going to become somebody or make a lot of money. And, then when I told him I was moving out here, he's like, it's not the land of milk and honey. Like, once you move out there, you're going to see that it's hard to get by on money, just just surviving.
Which he's right. I mean, and this place isn't the land of milk and honey, and people think, when you tell them you live in California and shit, they're like, oh, you're living the life.
And don't get me wrong, it's fucking awesome out here.
Yeah.
I mean, we gotta give it some credit. California's the shit. Like, I love that I live, a 10-minute drive from the beach. That's dope, but it's like,
it's fucking 80 degrees.
Yeah,
January.
I was sweating on the way here. I had to roll the windows down. I was like, damn, I'm fucking hot right now. But where was I going with that? I can't remember.
You're talking about, like, your dad, like, telling you, it's...
Oh, yeah. So, he was like... My parents' biggest concern was a job. They're like, what are you going to do? You don't really have any credentials. You didn't graduate college. You got your high school diploma, but it's like, is that really going to carry you far enough for you to pay rent and, all that shit? But I got... one of my training partners ended up being, he's my general manager now, Nate Colinero, awesome guy. He got me the job as a bouncer at the Tipsy Crow downtown, which is a super cool job. I can't complain about it, I work weekends, but that's good because it keeps me out of trouble, keeps me from doing dumb shit, you know. And so I got that job, and I started working there, and I was there for about 6 months. And then Josh and I were just starting to get to know each other at the gym. We, real recognizes real. We became pretty close friends. Like right off the bat, I was like, I like this motherfucker.
I told him I was gonna fuck him up one day.
Okay, so
I like that kid.
All right, so the thing that got me, I was like, okay, I like this motherfucker. He and I, we always have super competitive roles with each other. We try taking each other's heads off. We try fucking breaking each other's necks, jaws, whatever. Whenever we're rolling, we're cranking each other's faces and shit. But so like earlier on, before we became close, we had a super competitive role. Which he fucks me up sometimes. He's tapped me out. I'll tap him. I was getting the better of him one day, and then then the timer went off. It was whatever. And then it was like the next day in the gym or something, he saw me, and he didn't even know me. He walks up to me, he goes, I got a bone to pick with you, motherfucker. I go, oh, shit. I was like, this guy's got some fucking fire. I like this. So then, I talked to my boss about it. I was like, hey, this guy needs a job. He was talking about in the gym. He's like, yeah, I'm unemployed right now, and so I hooked him up with a job, and we became coworkers, and we became like best friends. He's my boy out here, man. He's my right hand man.
That's what's up.
Yeah,
man.
it's pretty cool.
Yeah,
yep.
That's cool, man. It's crazy because there's so many people that do want to do something and take a step, and there's so many people that'll shut you down, even like it happens to me every day, man. I'm a staff sergeant in the Marine Corps. I've only been in the Marine Corps for 9 years, and I'm an instructor at the Staff Academy. And I went to this class, right, to get out the other day. And the guy that was running this class was a retired sergeant major. Sergeant major is like the highest rank on the enlisted side that you can go, right? And he was like, "Why are you getting out, man? You're a hot commodity in the Marine Corps. Like you're set,
Yeah.
But I just don't want to do it anymore. I have nothing against the Marine Corps, but I know that my heart's somewhere else. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And
If your heart's not in it, then
it's not. And you do have to balance. I get it. I get it now more than I did before. Is you have to fucking survive somehow. But to me, that's not a reason to fucking stay in,
Exactly.
And so many people, like, I do what I enjoy. I enjoy MMA. I enjoy jiu-jitsu. I train where I can and when I can, and I've always been like that. I enjoy doing the podcast, right? And people ask me all the time when I tell them I have a podcast, they listen to it and they're like, "Oh, bro, your podcast is pretty dope." And I saw it on Facebook because, you can listen to the audio on Spreaker, or you can, watch it on Facebook Live. I have the page, From Nothing to Something. And people are like, "Bro, that's pretty dope. I like it. How much do you get paid for doing that?" And I'm like, I don't get paid anything, bro. I do this because I like it. I enjoy this. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So I don't know, man. I like we've been talking about. I plan on continuing doing what I enjoy, MMA and the podcast, and I just know that it's gonna take us somewhere because it has to. You know what I mean? There's no way I can do this and it's just be absolutely pointless.
It's not going to fall through if you just keep, and there's always different routes you could take. Let's say you start fighting professionally, you have a few fights and you get fucked up and, your body's banged up. Well, there's always another route from there. Get your black belt in jiu-jitsu, open a gym, you can fucking, I thought about making my own rash guards. I was talking to my buddy Adam, Adam Pacheco. He's saying we like the thought of maybe, like making our own rash guards someday and making a company from that. There's always something that you can do. If you like the sport, you want to be involved with the sport, you can do something with it. You're not just gonna, if you have passion in that is your passion, then just fucking find a way out. You know what I mean? It's just, it might be a little puzzling at times, but you can do whatever you want with it.
Yeah, absolutely.
The sky's the limit. We talked about it in the gym. We were rolling the other day. We were chatting our asses off talking about how, you're like, well, like I'd like to go to Florida. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Open my own gym there. I was like, that's a pretty kick-ass idea.
Fuck,
I like
man,
that
I'll go anywhere, bro. I'll fucking make it happen, man. I don't give a fuck what I have to do. I just know that like nothing and no one's gonna stop me from doing what I love. Like right now, I get it. Right now, like I did make the decision that I had to take a break, and it's not 100%. It's like it's just my focus isn't there like it was. But I'm not stopping. I just, I only have 24 hours in the day and I have to fucking make it happen. But I know I'm going right back,
Mm-hmm.
At most, this is a 6-month break at most.
Yeah.
And other than that, man, I mean that I knew for a fact that if I did decide to stay in the Marine Corps, I stopped chasing my goal and I let all this negativity get to me. Like I have to stop doing the podcast because then I'm full of shit. At the end of the day, because that's what this podcast is about, is every time I go through a struggle or I face an obstacle or I'm down in the dumps, like I think about it like I sit here and I tell people that they have to push through these obstacles, so I have to fucking push through these obstacles.
Exactly.
The message that I deliver.
Practice what you preach.
Yeah, exactly.
100%. That's what I had to start doing, man. I always talked about fighting and shit when I was back in Indiana, but I was like, well, here I am, like not doing anything.
Yeah.
And it's like, so when I moved out here, I eventually would like to fight professionally. I took a break from the stand-up and the kickboxing when I moved out here, and I just focused strictly on jiu-jitsu because I love jiu-jitsu. My dad loves jiu-jitsu. We've always loved grappling, and I want to get my black belt. I want to be one of the best in the world at that alone.
Right.
So it's like. So a lot of people like back home asking me like, "Hey, when are you gonna fight? When are you gonna fight?" Well, just relax a little bit.
There was a question on here earlier. Somebody asked you,
Sloan, when do you got?
When you get a next fight lined
up from back home? Yeah, he's a guy I knew from back home. He fought a little bit. Well, shit. I mean, I plan on it eventually. It's gonna happen. Kelsey Stick, Indiana misses you. Oh, I trained judo with her.
With Kelsey,
there's a little judo club in Indiana. I used to train there. It was pretty cool. I just pop in like once a week here and there and roll around with some judo guys just to get a different feel for things. But I would like to get a little more comfortable with just my jiu-jitsu and just my grappling. I'm going to fight again, no question about it. I love fighting. We were talking about it today on the mats. I was like, that's why I got into jiu-jitsu. I love fucking fighting. It's my favorite thing to do. It's all I think about. I'm so obsessed with it. It's bothersome how obsessed I am. Like, I'm at work at night, and it's like I'll be sitting there just thinking about like, what am I gonna do tomorrow? Am I gonna choke some motherfuckers? Am I gonna work on my arm bars tomorrow? Am I gonna work for my guard? What do I need to work on next? Like, when's my next tournament? When am I gonna do this? Do I need to work on my weight? Do I need to work on cardio? I'm always thinking about it. It's like, it's overwhelming at times. Sometimes I wish I could turn off that part of my brain and just live normally and not think about anything else. Just think about life, and but it's an obsession.
I feel you, man. Sometimes I think about like different ways to get into different positions, right? Literally like a couple hours ago, I was just sitting there, and all I can think about was, if I have butterfly guard, right, and I have an overhook and an underhook, and I go to sweep the dude, can I immediately transition into that armbar with the underhook? And I was thinking about. I was like, see, now look at Josh. Josh,
I'm thinking about it.
That's a good point. Like, probably. Is there a certain point where I know you're gonna go and just take the arm from you? Like, there's shit like that I think about all the time. Like, I think about, you guys know how I do I like doing the handstand and shit like that and balancing my hands.
Yeah.
I think about like, what's that judo throw, the uchimata, where the dude has
got an overhook.
And then he comes, and the inner thigh, and he throws you.
Yeah.
Is there a way for me to just do, when he does that, a fucking one-handed cartwheel and end up just cartwheeling and then going to an arm drag and taking his back? Like, I think about weird shit like this. It just pops in my head. Do you see what I'm talking about? There?
I do that shit all the time. I got a fucking whole notes in my phone about stuff that I want to do.
We were on the way home crazy. We were on the way home from HQ the other night, and it was me, Richie, Josh Jackson, Josh Sapinoso, and myself. And Josh Jackson, and Richie, we were all kind of bullshitting with each other, just talking about our roles and all kinds of shit. And then Josh is back there all quiet, and he's just writing in his phone. I already knew. I was like, he's writing notes about shit he wants to work on. I looked over, I said, "You're writing notes, aren't you?" And he's like, "Yeah, man." He's like, "There's some things I want to work on." And he's like, "I'll show it to you." And so,
still haven't shown you, but I'll do it later.
And the good thing about being bouncers is like, we have all this fucking time to train. It's a perfect job for fighters.
That's kind of why work there.
Exactly. It's
perfect. Kind of boring.
We work on the weekends. We work at nights. We wake up the next day. We go to the gym.
Yeah.
We train our asses off, and then we go right back to work. It's like it's a perfect life for somebody who's chasing that specific dream. You know what I mean? There, Nick Barnes. He's a professional fighter that trains with us. He trains over at Undisputed, but he comes through and rolls with us. I've been over there a few times, and it works perfect for him too, because he has all this time in the day to train, and then at nighttime he works. That's when he makes his money. So
fucking. We have Nicholas Sanchez said yes, Sloan and Josh, and threw up the 10. Fucking cool. Alexa Clymer.
Alexa Clymer, that's my sister.
She said love you. Yeah.
My mom.
Brock said my dude. Laura Clymer said hi, Josh.
Hi, Josh. My mom, I tell her all about Josh. I'm like, this kid's my fucking best friend. He's like, we think just alike. You gotta meet this fucking kid, Mom. I was like, he acts real nice and normal, but he's fucking crazy just like I am. You just gotta get to know him a little more. My mom, it's funny because my dad, he was always, He's the one who got me into the sport of fighting, but my mom's the fucking crazy one.
Yeah.
Not my dad. My dad's cool as a cucumber. He's a super nice guy. I mean, he'll tear your limbs off if he wants to, but he's super smiley. Hey, how you doing?
Yeah.
And my mom's a very sweet lady too, but oh fuck, she has a trigger. She has a trigger, and if you pull it, you're done. Like she's fucking nuts, and that's what I. When I was younger, I used to rap a lot, and I said, and I think I even told you that little line is like something. Don't stop dropping bombs. I got the technique from my dad, but brutality from my mom. Something is like it's like she's the one who got me. I don't know. I guess it's a good and a bad thing. A little crazy from her. Josh was saying the same thing about his mom.
My mom's kind of the same. Like she used to like slap me sometimes when I was a kid, and I get good at like ducking them or like blocking them and shit like this, and then she like start throwing fakes and then like just throw combos like double slap, and then she'd shit talk me after. Like she still brings it up sometimes. I was like, "You want to get double slap?" My mom's nuts. Like, that's why I get the grit from like she's just so stubborn.
It's funny, like. I'm from Connecticut, and I go back home and people follow me on social media and stuff, and they know I'm out here, and they always ask me dumb questions like, how's the Army and shit? And I'm like, I'm in the Marine Corps, dick.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it's funny that you talked about how, like, your mom will still bring it up, how, like, she slapped you, you know what I mean? Like, she has to, like, claim her dominance. Like, yeah, I'll still slap you.
Yeah. She's awesome.
Yeah, whatever.
We have a great relationship there.
Yeah, hey, my uncles do that shit. They're like, hey, your uncle will still fuck you up, though. I'm like, yeah, okay. You can barely fucking run down the block.
Yeah. Dude, my mom, so I remember, like, once I got into boxing and grappling, I wrestled, and it was like I think it was right after I graduated. Like, I think it was actually either a few days like before or a few days after graduation. I can't remember. I got in a big argument with my sister. We got in it was a big blowout. She dated this guy for a little bit that I had gotten a street fight with and beat up, so I was a little bitter about it. I was bitter towards her. We got in a big argument in my living room. I'm cussing her out. I turn to my mom. I'm freaking out on her, cussing her. I'm like, you're sticking up for her. Da, 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 da. I said something to my mom. I can't remember what, but she fucking chased me out of that house, and I ran my ass off. I was like, oh shit, she's gonna beat me up. Like, she gets a hold of me. I'm getting punched. Yeah, I fucked up. I talk too much. Yeah, she's wild.
That's funny, man. I had this one kid one time. This kid, we were in like middle school, right? And something happened where, like, you guys know how, like, in like the schools, how, like, the desks are set up in like a row.
Yeah.
Well, he was leaving the class, and I was walking in. I was walking to my seat, and like, I was looking one way, and he was looking another. And I was walking down the aisle, he was walking up it, and we like bumped into each other. But like, he had like kind of shoulder checked me. Like, I feel like he saw me and was like, I'm not moving. You know,
feel the resistance.
Yeah. So I pushed him. I was like, yo, watch the fuck out. You know what I mean? And this dude just unloaded on me. Blah, 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 blah. Just shots. And I, like, slipped on his book bag and shit. So, like, by the time people got him off me, I wasn't bloody or anything, but, like, he got the best of me. He got, like, he probably threw, like, 8 punches, landed, like, 3 solid ones, and was on top of me, you know?
Yeah, that's...
And, it was so shitty. I was so mad. I was only like in 7th grade, so I was like, when you're so mad, you're like crying because like you can't do shit about it. And you're just fucking pissed. Man, 2 years ago when I started training and like competing, like this dude reaches out to me on like Facebook and he goes, remember the time when I beat you up? And I was like, yeah, bro, in 7th grade. Hope you feel better about yourself, man. I was like, what the fuck?
I was a fucking kid.
I was like, we were kids, bro. Like, I'm glad you could tell people that.
I remember being on the bus with a kid who he punched me in the stomach. I remember it was like, I don't remember what it was over, but something happened, and this kid was a bully. He's bigger and older than me, and he punched me right in the stomach. Boom! And I was like, ah! And I remember just thinking, I was like, what the fuck just happened to me? He hit me so hard, I couldn't breathe. I held back tears. I got up, my stop was like, it was really close. I get off the bus. I just go inside my house. I think my mom wasn't working at the time, so she was home. And I just go in there, and I just burst out into tears. I'm crying. I'm just like, I think I was maybe like 8 years old at the time. Maybe I'm like, this kid hit me. I couldn't fucking breathe. And years later, is a funny story about that kid. I won't bring up his name, but one of my best friends from back home, Garrett, he punked that dude in the gas station. There was some beef over a girl, and we grew up in the same town.
Small town.
My friend Garrett, I was with him, and that dude. They got into it. I don't know. Garrett just starts throwing this dude around the gas station, pushing him. What's up, bitch? Throws this dude around. He's throwing him in it, and I'm looking around. I'm like, Garrett, we're getting the fucking cops call on us. We better go. But it was kind of funny watching that guy. Years later, like he's still an asshole. You know what I mean? And then he kind of got punked by I was overwhelmed.
Yeah, reality hit him. Reality
exactly.
hit him. Like fucking. I'm not being bullied, bro. You run into somebody that's not going to be bullied, and reality hits you.
I mean, at that time, it's like I knew I'd whoop his ass too, but I didn't have beef with him. My friend did, but oh man, those times back in Indiana, it was fucking.
Hey, somebody said, don't forget about the inmate who pulled the gun on you. What's that about?
Oh God! Oh, there was this crazy inmate. All
right, story time.
Okay,
story time. Hold on. Shout out to the person that go ahead and brought that up. We're gonna.
He's one of my
round of applause. Officer. It's time for some story time. He's a correctional officer.
Yeah, he's a good dude. I worked with him for the whole time I was there. But so there was this inmate, and I won't bring up his name either. I come from a pretty small town, but
right.
This guy, this was during my shitball phase, and I was out drinking all the time and stuff. And the guy was at a party, and my friend, my best friend from back home, Mason, he didn't like this guy. They had some issues with each other.
Oh, so you're like a correction officer, and like there's people locked up there who you know.
Yeah, there's people I know. I was working in a jail.
Crazy.
I wasn't working in a prison. I was working in a little jail. So there were people that I knew. There were guys I fucking punched who came in, and then I see him. I'm like, oh, this is awkward. I beat that guy up on the streets, and now here he is. And I'm fucking telling
What are you in for beating some guy up on the street? Oh, you shouldn't do that, man.
Yeah, I'm telling this guy to fucking take his covers off, and just a year ago, I fucking punched him in his mouth at a party, It was funny shit. But so there's this guy, my buddy had a problem with him, and I ran into him at a little party, and I said, I called him a goofball just to kind of punk him. I don't know. I was being an asshole. I was drunk, and he left. He just fucking left the party. He was like, all right. I just said, what's up, you fucking goof? That's what I said to him, and he turned around and he just left. And then it was like a couple months later, he got locked up in my jail, and I see the guy, and I was like, okay, whatever, that no problems. Nothing came out of it. This guy was fucking delusional. He starts telling all these inmates. He was like, I fucked all that guy's ex-girlfriends. He's like, I pulled a gun on him and put it to his head, and he fucking pissed himself. And he was like, and I'm like, what? And all these inmates are coming up to me, the guys that had respect for me, and they're like, hey, Clymer, that dude's fucking saying some shit about you, saying that, he pulled a gun on you. So I went up to him at his bunk and I knocked on it and I said, hey, I was like, did you tell people you pulled a gun on me? He's like, no, I didn't say that. Are you serious, bro? Why would I say something like that? Why would I say it? I'm like, and then all these inmates come up, they're like, you're a fucking liar. You told us that you did. You fucking liar. And they're like, get out of your bunk. We're beating your ass. And I didn't tell my officers that I did this. I said, no. I said, get out of the bunk. We're going in the bathroom. I'm beating your ass. I was like, I'm taking off the radio. I'm putting it in the officer's cage. I'm going to fucking knock you out. He's like, I'm not getting out of the bunk. I don't have a problem with you. I know you kicked my ass. Just being a scared little bitch. Yeah. And all these inmates, they're on my side. They're like, fuck this guy. He's a fucking little cunt. And so after that happened, it was that kind of blew over, and then it was a few days later. These inmates hated him. They wanted to kill him after they saw that he lied.
Right.
One of these inmates just fucking walks up to him and just boom. I watch it on. I'm sitting there in main control with my arms up, looking at the cameras. And this inmate just cracks this guy. He cracks him and just drops this fucking big goofball. He gets on top of him and just starts throwing fucking elbows, punches. This little scrappy inmate, he kind of knew how to fight, For a guy off the streets, like, he was throwing elbows. He impressed me. He threw a few knees in this guy's face. This guy's all bloodied up, all messed up, and we had to run up there and break it up. And I remember I looked at that inmate. His name was Purnell. I looked at him. I said, hey. I was like, good job. And he just kind of smiled at me. that fucking little piece of shit that was lying about me and stuff. He's all bloodied up and stuff. I was like, you fucking asshole. That's karma, though. That's what
goes around comes around for sure.
Sit there and talk shit. It's someone's gonna get you.
It's crazy. It's crazy when you catch people in a lie and how quick they'll just. They'll backtrack. You know what I mean? No, I didn't. That's not what I said. It's like, bro, if I have something to say, like, if I'm I do that sometimes. Sometimes I don't like you so much that I will just tell other people shit.
Yeah.
So you feel like, oh, this guy wants to talk behind my back? Hey, bro, did you say that? I'm going to say, yeah, I did fucking say that.
Oh,
I did say that.
That was my main move.
Because because I don't like you, and it's true. And it's true. Because I know that the only way I can bring that up to this person is if it's just him and I, right? That's the only way. So I'm going to make him come to me in front of a bunch of people, and then I'm going to bitch him out right there. Yeah, I did say that. I did.
Yeah.
I don't fucking like you.
I like doing that in high school. That was one of my...
But other than that, I don't like talking shit behind people's back, bro. I will fucking let you know to your face what the fuck is up, but I can't stand people that do that.
But that little thing you were talking about, that was one of my little shithead maneuvers in high school. I'd be like, I'm gonna say some things about this guy because it would be somebody that maybe didn't fuck me over directly. They maybe screwed one of my friends over or something. I didn't like him. I'd be like, I'm gonna just say something about this guy, and hopefully he'll confront me, and then I can tell him how I feel about it. You know what I mean? It's like that was.
And then if you don't confront me, like, I think you're even more of a bitch now. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Now
hey, did you tell him what I said? Yeah, I told him, man. I told him last week.
Yeah.
He still says hi to me in the fucking hallways. What's wrong with this guy?
What the fuck? He's still coming up to me saying, hey, what's up, bro? It's like, all right, okay then. That's cool.
What's up, Josh? You fucking quiet over there, man. Hey, you're like this, huh? You're just quiet. You're like a quiet killer.
I want Josh to tell a story. Tell him
I want to hear a fucking story.
The YouTube video in the Philippines, not the little backyard one. The one where you just fucking go off on this guy.
Oh, yeah. I got in a fight with like 6 people.
It's on YouTube. You can look it up.
It's on Facebook. No, it's not on YouTube. I didn't upload it to YouTube.
It was on Facebook.
It's on Facebook.
Yeah, they got the CTV footage of it, and like I went to the I went to them later and I was like, dude, I want the CTV footage. Like, I wasn't actually gonna press charges. I'm like, oh, dude, I'm gonna press charges and shit.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
he showed me that video. I cracked up.
Yeah, these fucking shitheads are just like, we were in like this bar. It's got 2 stories. We were on the 2nd story, and they had like a balcony and shit. They just like came by and were like shit talking my friend. It was just me and him, and we were like trying to dance with some girls. And like he went later on, my friend went outside to like try and take a girl, like drive her home or something. And then like my spidey senses tingled. I was still in there, and I was like, "Oh, dude, my friend's in trouble." Like I just see him like getting surrounded by like the fucking shitheads.
Right.
And then I fucking put my finger out his ear. I was like, "Hey, you bitch motherfucker! I'll beat your ass." I was pretty drunk. And then like he walks up to me and he goes, "Tanginamo." It's like fuck you in Tagalog. And
Okay.
Yeah, I was like, "Fuck you too." I grab him by.
So where was it? Where was this at? This was in the Philippines.
Yeah.
Oh shit!
It was in a pretty classy place though.
Oh, was it?
It wasn't like fighting like some like crazy Filipinos.
Yeah.
Like, they were kind of like rich college kids. Like kind of by the fucking leather jacket. Headbutted his ass. He fucking stumbles back like, oh, my fucking face. And then like I just started punching the closest guy that I thought it was his friend. I might have just hit some random bystander.
Oh shit, you just grabbed the closest dude.
I just started fucking going off like pop, 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 pop. Like turned around, started punching people. And it's on CCTV footage. I didn't really feel it, but some dude grabs a beer bottle. It's like he's swinging it at me. And my friend grabs him and just like starts rabbit punching him in the back of the head.
Oh man!
You know it's crazy because you really don't feel shit like that. You know, like when you're like in the middle of like a brawl or a fight, like some crazy shit happens and it doesn't even really faze you. You know what I mean?
You don't feel anything.
Yeah.
It's like I got jumped one time when I was 19, and I started it again. This was back in the asshole Sloan phase where I was just drinking and I didn't have any direction, you know. But so my ex-girlfriend and I was just kind of talking to her at the time. I went to a party with her, and then my other ex-girlfriend was there, and I was kind of like, okay, I'm talking to this girl. I got my ex here.
Two of my bitches in the club.
I still kind of care for her. So I just told her, I walked up to her and I said, hey, I was like, I'm not going to try to like piss you off, just respect me, please. Like, we'll avoid each other all night. We'll have good. It was a huge party in Muncie, back where I'm from. Muncie's a little. There's a big college, Ball State, and they're just people fucking party there. I got into most of my like street fights I got into were in Muncie. Like I would go there on the weekends with my friends, and we would always get into some shit. But I went there, and so like I don't know, there was this guy there, and he wasn't even doing anything wrong. I don't know. Maybe I just was like putting things in my own head. I was drunk and I thought like, oh, these guys, they think they're fucking better than me, My ex-girlfriend was like dancing on all these dudes. I was just getting pissed. And I was like, man, fuck this. Fuck all these guys. Fuck her too. I almost left, and then I walked back inside and I just saw her dancing with this guy, and he looked at me. And like, I don't know if he knew that. I think he knew that.
You had to assume probably. You're like,
I just went up and punched him. Yeah. I said, "Fuck it." I went up and punched this guy, and he stumbled back, and then one of his friends cracked me. And I turned around, I like blind swung at a few people. Next thing I know, dude, I'm fucking on the ground. Like I have like one guy in a headlock. I'm getting kicked in the head. I'm getting stomped on. Somehow a fucking table lamp. It was a big house party. Table lamp got broken over my head. I don't know how. I'm army crawling through. I don't feel any of it though. Like what what brought this on. It's your adrenaline's pumping, and I was drunk. Maybe that had something to do with it. But yeah. I'm getting fucking kicked. I'm getting stomped on. I'm getting my ass whooped, dude. I'm getting all kinds of fucked up. There's a picture, my Instagram picture, the one where I'm smiling with my fist up. I finally get out of that house. I run outside, and my buddy sees me. He's like, Sloan. He's like, get the fuck out of here. These guys are after you. There's like fucking 10 dudes, and they're like, they were out for my blood. So I run around this, like I hop a fence and I go around the corner. I meet up with one of my buddies, and he pulls up in his car, and I get in his car, and then he's like, all right, let's go home, So I'm all bloody, and then my other friend Seth, he's like, you're a fucking mess, and I pulled out my phone, I gave it to him, I said, take a picture, and I smiled real big. I had blood all over my face. Yeah. It was funny, but it's like at the time, I didn't think. I didn't think anything of it, but the next day I was pretty fucked up. But it's still me being. I was an asshole, you know what I mean. I started that. I deserved to get my ass whooped, you know what I mean. By all means, that was all me being a fucking prick. But the mature me should have just left, you know what I mean. Been like, well, fuck that girl. But so I walk. I walk out to my gym the next day, I told my dad. I called him, and I was laughing while I was still drunk. I was like, you don't believe what I just did? I was like, I just got in a fucking fight. My dad's like, get home, God damn it, get home. My dad's just so disappointed in me. I come home, and there's still blood on my face. My dad, he wakes up, and he walks out in the living room. He just looks at my face, and he just shook his head and went back to bed. And so the next day, he wanted me to go out in the gym. He's like, I want to talk to you about what happened. And he's like, you think that's so funny that like you got in a fight. You always think that's so funny. Anytime you get in fights, you don't take it seriously. You don't realize that, you could have gotten hurt. You could have gotten stabbed. Somebody else could have gotten hurt. You could have, anything could have happened. Yeah. You could be getting sued. And he's like, so you think you're so fucking tough? He's like, put on the gloves. He's like, I'm going to show you how tough you are. And I'm just like, God damn it, Dad! I'm banged up, dude. Like you're gonna make me spar with you. He beat my ass. Yeah, he whooped my ass.
It's crazy because we always hear those stories where like our parents tell us, oh, you don't know. I fucking know a guy, man. I met a dude who did like hard time for murder. Yeah, and he just punched the dude once. And the dude hit his head on the curb.
It's scary shit happens, man. It's it's
crazy, bro. Like that dude's a badass because he's very successful now. But like he does not like talking about it. He doesn't talk about it. He fucking like he'll bring it up if he feels comfortable with you. But like he went through some shit in jail. Like he got stabbed in jail. Like,
I wouldn't want to go.
He did some hard fucking time, and he's an older dude. He's probably like 40s now.
I know who you're. Do I know who you're talking?
No, I don't think you know.
Okay,
maybe you do, but yeah, it's just not to bring up his story, but it's just crazy because you hear shit like that and you're like, damn, like this shit really happens. It's not like a fairy tale. It's not like some bullshit where. You're like, if you fucking keep making that face, it's gonna get stuck like that. You know what I mean? It's not like that. Like, you can kill somebody or get hurt.
And it was like, once I moved out here, I realized, I don't know, I grew up a lot when I moved out here. It's like I got away from all the negativity and all the drinking and all the dumb shit, and I just like I realized like I don't want to get in street fights anymore.
And you know what the other thing is, I think, is because I moved out here and I was still the same asshole. I was getting into fights all the time in Carlsbad and San Diego. Like, bro, I was getting into brawls with bouncers and shit. I was like 21, 22, just wilding out all the time. Once I started training, like for real, I kind of developed a respect for like hand-to-hand combat, as gay as that sounds. Like, I take competing seriously. Like, I don't, if I'm going to be out of the gym, I want it to be because I'm tired, not because I fucking broke my hand over some asshole at the bar.
Exactly.
I don't feel like I have anything to prove anymore. I know I can kill half these dudes in the street, So it's like.
It was an ego thing. Yeah. That's, it was always an ego thing. What did Whitney say? Oh, this is awesome. Yeah. Oh, okay. Oh, Whitney, she's so crazy. I love her. But, what were we talking about? Oh, yeah. Once I moved out here and I started training all the time. I got in one fight when I moved out here. Long story. It was in my neighborhood. Some guy, like, he was drunk. There's a few bars in my neighborhood, and I don't know. I was walking down the street, like, I was kind of bored. It was late at night, and I was about to come back to my house. I was just, I remember I was going to see if this grocery store was open. I was very new to San Diego. Right. I didn't know anything. And then this drunk asshole starts talking shit to me. There's this bar. It's near my house, and there were a bunch of people. I was like summertime. There's maybe a festival going on earlier. So a bunch of people are out on the streets, and this guy comes up and started blabbering to me, and so I gave him a pretty good whooping. I won't go into detail, but I just cracked him a few times, and then I got home, and my dad, I remember I got home, and I'm sitting there, and I was like, Jesus Christ. I went in my roommate's room. I'm like, listen, what the fuck I just went through, dude? And I told him about it, and then I called my dad. I remember I didn't want to tell anyone about it because I was like, who knows, that guy will call the cops. This is over this is a year and a half ago now, so it's like, so I mean, fuck, I don't care anymore. But I remember I tried to just act like it didn't happen, but I think it was that played a big part in me realizing how south things can go just so quick. Like, I was just walking down the street. I was walking down the street. I was 100% sober, nothing, not in a bad mood, nothing, you know what I mean? And then next thing I know, I got some guy across the street yelling shit to me, and it's like, things can fucking, go from 0 to 100. You can get locked up for that shit. I could have fucking went to jail. You never know what could happen. So it's like, dude, I gotta take, I'm out here to chase a dream. I'm not out here to be an immature little prick anymore.
You gotta take the shit serious.
Exactly. Yeah. So I don't do that anymore. I don't go out. I don't get drunk. I don't get in fights. This is my first beer I've had in a while, dude. I don't even, you offered it to me, but, I was like, fuck, when in Rome, let's all have one together. So,
I didn't even want one, and then you were like, bro, you gotta have one. It was like,
we all gotta have one together. You can't offer us one and then not have one yourself. So,
but fuck, man, it's already been over an hour, guys. It's already been over an hour,
Shit, we've been chatting around.
Yeah, we've been chatting, man. This shit goes by quick, man.
It does.
Hey, so what do you guys have coming up next? What's next for you guys? What are you focusing on? What do you got, Josh?
EBI trials. I mean, right now I'm just trying to get my strength up. compete with 170ers.
He doesn't need to get his fucking strength up. He's strong as shit for his size.
Yeah, I don't know.
You want to introduce yourself, Danny?
I'll answer that question. What's up, Dustin? My bad, I didn't mean to cut you off, Josh. We got a question. Dustin, my name's Danny Molina. I train out here with these guys. I'm originally from Connecticut. I came out here to California because I'm in the Marine Corps. And I'm an MMA fighter. I'm a purple belt. I train. I compete. Just another guy trying to chase the dream, you know what I mean? That's really it. This podcast is something that I started doing and had a couple people on. Check it out, man. Check out my page and hit me up. You'll see my page. Send me a message. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you got any feedback for me. But yeah, go ahead, Josh. So what do you got coming up? What do you got?
I'm actually thinking about enrolling back in school.
Okay. Yeah.
It's more of a challenge, I guess.
Yeah.
Jiu-jitsu. Just fuck around with that a little. But, I mean, EBI trials, I might want to fight again. It's been 2 years since my last professional fight.
And Andy Murad talked to us. And
yeah,
so,
about
Gladiator
Challenge or something.
He was,
I don't know.
You know Andy Murad? He talked to Josh and I about, possibly taking a fight professionally.
Yeah.
And, I got to work on my striking, For a while in Indiana, that's all I was doing. For a couple of years, before I moved out here, one of my real close friends, Steven, my brother back home, he got me into boxing, formal boxing. I was going to all these ghetto-ass gyms with him in Indianapolis, and I was working on it with him back there. But I fell off once I moved out here, just started training jiu-jitsu. And so I need to get back to striking eventually, and I don't know. We might take a fight here in the next year or so.
For sure.
We talked to him about. Andy said he'd like to get us on the same card. Did he say he wanted to fight too? I can't remember, but he has some connections.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. I'd like to just compete a few more times and these tournaments. Maybe see about these EBI trials and go from there and work on my hands again. And so.
Well, that's what's up, man. Fucking, you guys heard it here. Stay tuned. They got EBI trials coming up, and hopefully we'll see them in the cage fighting again soon. I really appreciate you guys coming on. And those of you curious about EBI trials, they always do the Facebook Live, so you'll be able to watch it live when it's happening. Do you guys know the exact date of the EBI trials?
I think they pushed it back to February 21st.
February 21st. So as of right now, it's February 21st. If you know any 10 Planet guys, they're going to put it on their page. They'll share it. Obviously, if you know these guys, they'll share it. They'll have it up. Somehow, some way, you'll be able to watch that for sure. Any last words for the people at home? Any last words you guys got? Any shout outs you want to give?
Back home and all the naysayers.
Go fuck yourself.
Yeah, go fuck yourself.
Naysayers, suck my dick. Fucking naysay this dick in your mouth.
Yeah, a lot of pricks back home. But yeah, it was a lot of fun, man. I'm glad you had us on. We'll have to do this again.
Yeah, for sure. Anytime you guys want to do it. And those of you that are listening that normally listen every week that follow me, I appreciate it. Those of you that are new, hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully you had a good time with us. Again, just to tell you guys what this is all about, my podcast is From Nothing to Something. The whole theme is to talk to people who are doing something with their life. They're chasing a dream. They're chasing a goal. There's so many people who complain about their shit job and their shit life, but you don't really ever fucking do anything about it. You have a passion. You have a dream. Why aren't you chasing that? Why are you wasting your life in that desk job, working at fucking Taco Bell, McDonald's, Walmart, cashier? Nothing wrong with those jobs, but if you're doing it and you fucking hate it, you're wasting your life, and the only person to blame is you. So I have people on every day that I talk to, or not every day, but every week. I recently changed it from Thursdays to Sundays. Next week will be Thursday, though, because I'm going to be out of town next weekend. So next week, I'm going to do another podcast on Thursday. But the whole theme is to talk to people who are doing something with their lives, chasing their goal, chasing their dream. Talk to them about where they came from. Talk to them about obstacles that they faced and where they see themselves going in the future. And the goal is to inspire you. Inspire you as a listener, to show you that everyday people that started from nothing are going somewhere. And that's the only way to make it happen, is to take that first step. You can't be scared. You got to make it happen from nothing to something. We love you guys. We appreciate you. And tune in next week on Thursday. I got my buddy Chris the Swede. He's going to talk about what he does. He is Dolce certified dietitian. He's going to talk about that, his life. He's originally from Sweden and shit like that. So we're going to talk to him for about an hour next week on Thursday around 7 p.m. So tune in then. Follow my Facebook page. And, of course, check out my website, Spreaker.com/From Nothing to Something. We love you guys for listening. We love you for watching. Thanks a lot, Josh. Thanks a lot, Sloan. I appreciate you guys, man. We'll have you guys on again.
Thank you for having us, brother.
Yeah, we had a great time. Peace out, guys.
Cool, man. Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, man.
Oh, yeah, this is my phone.
That's good.
Okay.
Good.